My name is Ted Butcher, and I'm from Holden, Massachusetts.
I was down visiting my father, and he was going through some old papers and photos, and I happened to see one that was a picture of his crew from World War II. They were all wearing Red Sox baseball caps, and behind them was their B-24 bomber that had a cap with wings painted on the side of it. So naturally, I had to ask some questions about it.
I was working for the telephone company in New England at the time. I had just gone to work for them, and I was there about 6-8 months. I joined the Army Air Force. I ended up in Keesler Field. We were crewed up and we went to Muroc, California. We were taking flying training to go overseas, and I was already crewed up in a B-24. I had 4 officers, the pilot, the co-pilot, navigator, and the bombardier. I was a crew chief, and I usually flew to top. That's where I was listed for, as the top turret. I'd be here most of the time. We were flying on one mission, and I saw a freight car, and it was chugging along pretty good there, so I said, what do you say we take a pop at that guy? We were coming back from a bombing mission, but we had a few eggs for him, and then I talked to the bombardier. I said, can you hit that thing? He said, I think so. We went right into a dive, and we came right through at the top of that freight car, and all of a sudden the top rolled back. And there was the bump, 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 bump. It was the anti-aircraft guys in the train. Well, you know, a little sweat ran down the back of your neck, and we got the heck out of there in a hurry.
He had told me that he had written to Joe Cronin in 1944, asking for some baseball equipment.
I had met him in Worcester. He was, as you know, the general manager of the Boston Red Sox, and a Hall of Fame shortstop, just a great guy and a great ball player. And I told him we were Massachusetts. I kind of told a little white lie. I was the only one from Massachusetts, but they sent us 10 Red Sox caps, and that was the kind of the highlight of the crews getting together, you know. I gave them to all the guys, and we wore those hats for about 40, I think it was 44 missions, and we ended up, all of us, alive.
And all the officers and crew members wore those caps on every mission. They became their good luck pieces, and my dad said they were as important to them as the bombs that they loaded.
Well, we wore the caps, and when anything happened, we threw the helmets on over the top of them. Had to save the caps. We weren't so interested in the body work, but we had to save the caps. We were known over there as Cronin's Kids and the Flying Red Sox. And some of those people didn't like the Red Sox name. They were Yankee fans. We didn't have another masked guy, and we became the Flying Red Sox. I was the only one that was from Mass. We didn't paint them in those days. They were silver. Paint slows them down, you know. But the trips were, I'd say it's average 18 hours. I've gone as long as 20 from the time we left Calcutta to we're down into French Indochina. That day that we flew, 2 guys got washed out. So Harold Ring from my crew and myself went in the 2 different crews. He was on one plane and I was on the other. And we were separated the first time in all the missions that we were ever separated, and we lost the squad. 8 planes left in the morning and 2 returned when we got back after about 16 hours in the air. A couple went in to drink, and the others, I don't know, in the jungle or where they went, but they didn't survive. The 2 survivors planes had Ring on and myself on. The 2 Red Sox men were on those 2 planes that returned. We got back with our hats. I was too cheap to get my hat up, so I had to come back and get it. We didn't have the curse of the Red Sox that day, I'll tell you.
His whole story was about the luck of the Red Sox. There was no talk of curse. For these men, it was the luck of these caps that brought them safely home, mission after mission.
That hat flew about 14,000 air miles with me.
It was incredible because I had known that he fought in World War II, but he never talked about it. Like so many other men from that generation, you performed the service for your country, you came home, and you put it behind you and you started your life again. And I had never heard about those 4 years of his life, so it was a piece of our past and a piece of our family history coming to life after 60 years.
That's a Red Sox cap, just like we had.
Does it look familiar?
Oh, it certainly
60 years
does.
ago, huh?
60 years ago, I can't believe it. Can I put it on, sir? Do I look like David Ortiz now? Or? When you're a young man and you're fighting halfway around the world, you do have to believe in something. And my belief, and I think most of the crew, was that the Red Sox hats were a good omen for us to believe in. And they brought us all 10 safely home to our loved ones. I'm Ted Butcher from Holden, Massachusetts.
And I'm his daughter, Linda. And together, we're proud members of Red Sox Nation.
We certainly are.